Alright, here's the very early video of when this plant was still in flowering mode. By accident, when it was in the sunroom after it was a cutting in the sunroom, it adjusted to its light there and started flowering. So we said, well, let's stay in flowering for a little bit, put it downstairs into the flowering room, and then brought it back up and put it under light 24/7. So I'm going to zip through about 3 weeks of growth here to do this really quickly, about 20 seconds on each stage. And here you can see it's starting to spread out a little bit. Still see that there's still buds in there and buds between each internode, which is kind of cool and freaky if you've never seen it before. This is probably about a week in. The changes are pretty obvious now that it's going back in the veg stage. It's growing single leaf sets, and the internodes have actually spread out. Between each internode spreads out a little bit. Now it's starting to get a little thicker and fuller as it focuses on side growth. It's weird how it decides what it wants to do. You can still see a few 3 leaves in there from before, and there's actually still a few 5 leaflet sets. Here's another, this looks like more of a non-rotational one. It's just to show that it's getting bigger. Now, per video, you'll see just small, minute changes on this plant. But when you compare earlier ones with older ones, you'll see, yeah, wow, there's a big change. And maybe for those that are observant, you will see it per video. But the whole thing is that this plant will spread out, and it's going to grow massive network of branching within itself. And at this point, you're going to need a fan for air circulation, otherwise it's just going to trap and rot. Too much moisture on the inside, so you really need a fan actually for the rest of this plant's life, and you're going to have to do a lot of pruning through this plant's life. Here we're getting towards the end now. Now it looks like the plant's actually fighting over high points, because most energy is directed at the high point to create one high point. And the trick is to have 3, 4, 5, 6 different cola high points that you get lots of big buds from. And granted, this is still a baby. This is only like a month old from the cutting. Here we're stretched out more. Things have become more dominant and prominent in growth. I don't think you can find any remnants of a bud now other than just a few occasional sticky leaves that were part of a bud at one time. And it looks like it's just starting to grow maybe tri-leaf sets now. Let's get in there a little bit closer. I thought I saw a couple tri-leaves. Of course, this is a voiceover, and that's another reason why I just cut it down. Just less rambling and hurry up and get to the point and get you the information. But yeah, now when you look at it, it's like, wow, is that plant actually flowering at one time? It's kind of hard to tell. It's getting long and stretching out for light, and it is in veg mode, definitely without a doubt. But yeah, very interesting. You can do this at any plant at any age. Preferably better after about a month on a cutting, about a month old. And look how tall it's getting now. Now it's really defining itself. And what will happen is you'll get much more growth later on. I mean, you really do. You don't lose it somewhere else. And what we have here, oh, well, this is the watcher of the garden, Mika, of course. Now, you'd think with that fan being in front of her, she's not an outdoor cat, but they still carry mites and ticks and stuff. You'd think being in front of that fan, blowing onto the veg plants, that it would cause problems and parasites, but it doesn't. Here's the last video, up to date, brings us up to date. And that's what we have now. It looks like a plant that's in veg stage. It has a whole lot going on for it, more than you could get from just a typical cutting, which is a lot more than what you'll ever get from the seed. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great one. Take care. Peace, everyone.